Welcome, everyone. And of course, a warm welcome to those that are watching the replay as well. Very excited. And I hope you get a lot out of this masterclass. So, before we begin, let's be clear about what this is and what this isn't. Before we go any further, let me clarify the work that I do and why it actually matters. So, for those that don't know me, I'm Sue Kennedy. I work with established experts who already have depth, experience, and a body of work behind them. And I help them turn their book into a deliberate generation pathway. One moment, just have to let someone else in. Okay.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Excellent. How you doing?
Good, good.
That's good.
I've just started,
Yeah.
so I'll start from the beginning. So, sorry for those that I'm going to repeat myself.
That's all
I am waiting a few other people,
right.
but
Okay.
a lot of them are on the replay. But
Yeah.
anyway, so welcome. And of course, as I said, a warm welcome to those that are watching the replay. And so before we begin, I just want to be clear about what this is and what this isn't. And before we go any further, let me clarify the work that I do and why it matters. So, for those that don't know me, I'm Sue Kennedy, and I work with established experts who already have depth, experience, and a body of work behind them. And I'll help them turn their book into a deliberate client generation pathway. Not by teaching them how to write better, but by ensuring the book positions them clearly as the person the reader should work with next. So, my work sits at the intersection of positioning, authority, and strategic book development. Because when a book is positioned properly, it doesn't just educate, it orients, it qualifies, it invites. And what I want to say up front is so that there's no surprises later. At the end of this session, I will be inviting those of you who recognise yourselves in this conversation to apply for Book to Bank Fast Track. It's not for everyone. It's for experts who are ready to design their book intentionally, not as a creative exercise, but as a strategic asset inside their business. You don't need to decide anything now. Just sit back, relax, and listen. If it's relevant for you, you will know. If it isn't, you'll still leave with clarity, if nothing else. So today is not about writing, it's not about discipline, and it's not about motivation. It's not about finally getting more words on the page, because for most established experts, that isn't the real issue. You are capable of writing a book. The deeper question is whether that book will actually do what you need it to do. Not emotionally, not creatively, but strategically. Will it position you clearly? Will it orient the right reader toward you? Will it lead somewhere intentional once it's finished? Most experts assume a book works if it's valuable, if it reflects their depth, if it sounds intelligent, if readers finish it and think that was insightful. But insight does not automatically create clients. Intelligence does not automatically create demand. And a book that simply proves you're impressive can quietly become the most expensive credibility exercise in your business. And that's not why you're here. You're here because at some level, you already sense your book needs to carry more weight than that. So let me ask you something. When someone finishes your book, the one you're writing or planning at the moment, what do you want them to do next? Not reach out if it resonates, and not follow me. Specifically, what is the designed next step? And I'd love for you to put that in the chat. So yeah, take a moment and just let us know, what is the designed next step in your book? Right, book into my program. Perfect. It's exactly what we want. So thank you. So when the outcome isn't precise, the book can't be precise. And when the book isn't precise, readers don't move towards you. So let us now discuss why most expert books don't convert. So we're going to discuss something that isn't talked about openly enough. Most expert books don't underperform because they're poorly written. They underperform because they are strategically unfocused. And when you have years of experience, it feels almost irresponsible to narrow yourself down. You think to yourself, but this matters too. And I also do this. And that experience shaped everything. So the big book actually becomes a reflection of your entire intelligence. It feels honest, it feels thorough, and it feels complete. But strategically, it actually diffuses you. Because when everything is included, nothing stands forward. The reader finishes thinking, they know a lot. But they don't finish thinking, this is exactly who I need. Admiration replaces decision, and admiration does not create action. Decision requires clarity. So let me ask you something very practical. If one of your readers was asked, what does this person actually stand for? Would they be able to answer it in one clear sentence? Not in a summary of chapters, but as a positioning statement. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Yes. Awesome. So, authority is not built through a range of information. It's built through precision. And when your book tries to represent all of you, it stops positioning you clearly for anything specific. So please understand that this is not a writing issue. It's actually a positioning issue. And positioning determines outcomes. Now, here's the more confronting question. If your ideal client read your book from beginning to end, would they feel internally orientated toward working with you or not? So think about this for a moment. Or would they simply feel educated? Education feels generous. However, orientation creates movement, and there is a difference. Okay, yeah, probably not, definitely educated. Okay, perfect. That tells us a lot, so I love that. Okay, so now let's talk about what a book is actually for. We need to correct the default belief about books. A book is not a container for everything you know. It is not an archive of your experience. It is not proof of your intellectual depth. A strategic book is actually an authority filter. Its job is to make the right reader feel seen and to make working with you feel like the natural next step. And just as importantly, it should make the wrong reader quietly realize this isn't for them. That requires decisiveness, because it means choosing one core expertise and allowing the rest to sit behind it. So let's sharpen this. Who is your book not for? Complete this sentence in the chat. This book is not for. And just notice what happens when you answer that honestly. So this book is not for. So this book is not for those who are not willing to own their health. Yes, I love that. And feel the tightening in your thinking when you have, written that or thought that. That's called positioning. Very important to remember. So when you stop writing for everyone and you start speaking directly to someone, and when that happens, the emotional impact increases, not because you added more passion, but because you are being specific. By the final page of your book, the right reader should reach 3 conclusions without you having to force them. They should feel understood, they should feel trust, and they should feel clear about what to do next. Not vaguely interested, not mildly curious, but completely clear. If your book does not deliberately guide them there, they will not arrive there accidentally. Readers do not connect dots that are not intentionally drawn to. Okay, next, we're going to talk about why clarity must come before writing. This is where most experts misinterpret what's happening. They believe the problem is language, and they believe the issue is refinement. So they revise, and then they tweak, then they add chapters, they remove sections, but often the real issue isn't the execution. It's that the direction hasn't been fully decided upon. So you cannot refine what has not been anchored. So let me ask you something else now. When you think about your book, where does the internal tension live? In the sentences or in the overall direction? And be honest with yourself here. If the direction were absolutely clear, if you knew precisely what this book was positioning you as and where it was leading, the writing process would feel different. Am I right? Not necessarily effortless, but cleaner, more decisive. Before words matter, certain strategic decisions must be made. Not clear that is why I've signed up to your CLIP program. Right, okay. We will have a chat about that. So what is the single expertise this book is built around? So you need to ask yourself that question. And what role does it play inside your business model? Is it qualifying higher level clients, or is it opening doors to speaking engagements? Or is it leading into a specific offer? I know, Anthony, you said it was to book into your program, so yours is leading to a specific offer. And what should the reader feel completely safe doing once they finish it? So if I asked you to answer those questions right now without preparations, would you be able to do that? Please give me a yes or no in the chat. Need some help here, certainly. Yep. We're in the right place. We're definitely here in the right place. Okay, so notice your internal response when you said all that, or answered those questions. So that response is data for you to acknowledge. Writing is visible, and you can measure it in the pages you write, but positioning is invisible. But positioning determines whether your book becomes leverage or simply just a finished project. And so I just want to now invite you to Book to Bank Fast Track for those that are not already in it. So if today has felt clarifying, well, that's actually intentional, because clarity actually changes behavior. Book to Bank Fast Track is for the experts who are no longer willing to leave their book to chance. It's for those who understand that a book is not something you complete. It's something you specifically designed. It's not about just becoming another author. It's about becoming unmistakably positioned and positioned for the right people. If you choose to apply, approach the application as a strategic mirror and not as a commitment and not as a performance. Just answer the questions honestly. And if your answers are precise, that tells us something. And if they are vague or difficult to articulate, that also tells us something important. Both are useful. So it's all fine. And I do review every application personally. So just so that you know that I do look at every single application. And it's not to evaluate your potential, but to assess alignment, because this is about precision. When you open the page, please read it slowly. Now, for those, I was going to put the link in the chat, but of course, anyone that's not live is not going to see that. So if you just want to reach out to me, I will send you the link. So when you look at it, notice whether the language reflects how you already think or how you are ready to think. If there is a quiet sense of recognition, then please complete it. There's no urgency, just recognition. And there is no advantage to rushing a strategic decision. If this is the right container for you, it will still be right after you've considered it properly. And if it isn't, that's fine as well. You will leave today with something many experts avoid confronting, and that is clarity about what your book actually needs to do. And whatever you decide, let this be the moment you stopped hoping your book would speak for itself and started ensuring it speaks with intention. So hopefully you got some information out of that that's helpful. I'm now going to open it up to Q&A. So if anyone's got questions, now I know that at the moment Anthony is here and a few other people have not shown up, and that's fine. Hopefully they'll get to watch the replay. And of course, for the people that are in the replay watching, please send in your questions if you have any. Okay. Anthony's good, just need to complete the form. No worries at all, Anthony. Well, I will leave it at that. And then, Anthony, if you want to stay on and after I stop recording and ask me anything, feel free. So thank you, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the recording. And again, please let me know if you've got any questions or would like the link to the application. Thank you, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day.